Please like and comment on the video below. That will allow me to produce better quality videos and more of them in the future. If you're interested in learning to trade successfully on sports, then why not visit the BetAngel Academy, where we have more detailed videos. So within each calendar year you get a sports cycle. Now football fans will know that the domestic football league starts up in August and then runs through until May. Tennis fans will know that the first tennis tournaments of the year start in January, and then we have the Australian Open in January, and then we travel around the globe when we finish with the ATP Tour finals, which are in November, and then there's a gap. And in cricket and all of that, you get all of these cycles that occur and levels of seasonality within individual sports. So what I do is, one of the reasons that I love racing, first of all, is that racing is 24/7 pretty much. Somewhere in the world there is a race going on at some point during the day, and therefore the markets are permanently open, and there are tens of thousands of them. So this is one of the reasons that I like racing, is that it's continuous. But there are cycles within racing as well. We have the jump season, we have the flat season, and we have all-weather racing, which sort of sits in between the two of them, but almost vanishes during the summer and then returns with a vengeance in the winter to fill the gaps when racing is cancelled on the jumps. So yeah, your performance as a trader will vary dramatically over the course of the year. But for example, one of the reasons that I sort of settled on racing as one of my mainstays and one of the areas of speciality is simply because A, it does 10 billion a year in turnover, and B, there are so many of the markets permanently. If you look at tennis, for example, you end up with the situation where in January it's taking place in Australia in a different time zone, and then as we move all the way through to August and later in the year, we're in the US. So the start times vary all over the place, and that can be a little bit stressful. However, each sport has one of those cycles in it, and my trading rises and falls according to what's going on within that particular calendar. Now you also have cycles within those cycles. So every 2 years we get a peak in terms of sporting events, and then every 4 years we get other peaks in different sports as well. So for athletics, obviously that's the Olympics and the World Championships. But if you look at football, then obviously the 4-year sports cycle peak is the World Cup. So we are right in the thick of that at this moment in time. So I scale back new projects and other activity. I'm not as outbound. I don't do as many events as I did previously, and I'm a little bit more tired. Simply because there is so much going on. I'm absolutely, at this moment in time, all guns blazing, left, right and centre, doing everything that I can on every market that I can. Why? Because there is so much opportunity. There is immense amounts of opportunity around at this time if you're prepared to take it. If you wind yourself back to the middle of winter, very often it would feel like there was nothing on and you didn't know where you were going to do your next trade, or if there was going to be a decent trade available. But now they're coming in from all different angles. So your strategy will vary slightly as well, in that it's possible to pick up opportunities. I'll look at stuff and then I'll just sort of think, I'll do this one because I think this is a better opportunity. In the winter, generally, you don't have that opportunity. So yeah, you can trade as many sports as you like, but generally you'll find better qualities within those sports as well. And if you look at the World Cup, there are so many opportunities being generated there for a number of different reasons that presents quite a range of opportunities. So I tend to flip and flop between individual sports. So Monday, Tuesdays at this time of the year on the racing is a little bit duller, so I'm quite likely to do something else. So when Wimbledon is on Monday, Tuesday, I'll probably be focusing on Wimbledon and then return to the racing in the evening. But of course, the World Cup is dominating the agenda at the moment, and there are loads of opportunities there. But it can be pretty hectic. But if you're going to do things seriously, this is the time at which you do it. You don't embark on other projects or other things. You'll be totally focused on the trading, because there will be plenty of time as we move towards the back end of the summer to reset everything back to normality, as it were. But while the opportunity is there, you go for it. So what we've done with BetAngel as well is, if you look at the way BetAngel has evolved over a number of years, then there are actually a whole range of tools to help you do that. So we have within BetAngel true multi-market trading. So one of the things we were keen not to do was to have something where you just spawn another window and then bring focus to that window and use that. We wanted to create something that allowed you to work on stuff simultaneously. So in fact, rather than try and talk about it to camera, which can be a bit boring, let me show you some of that within the product. So we're in a really busy week, and it's going to get busier. We're at that part of the year, part of the sports cycle, where we have loads of stuff going on simultaneously, absolutely everywhere. And BetAngel is perfectly suited for that. And you know, one of the reasons you need to get involved in as many markets as possible is you will find more opportunities, and more opportunities equals more money. And therefore, I'm constantly on the look for stuff that's happening across multiple markets. So let me show you how there are several ways of looking at multiple markets at the same time, but also managing them and looking for opportunities. We're looking here at the Senegal v Colombia match, but also we have Japan playing as well this afternoon. So one of the things that you can do is if we go into the market selection menu here and we search for Japan and match odds, there you go, Japan v Poland. If I right click here, can you see it says display on the one-click screen or display market in a new ladder window. So if I do that, I could actually put up a separate screen, a separate ladder on the existing ladder, if you see where I'm coming from. Now you can amend and the style and shape of the ladders as much as you wish, and you saw me just pin it there. So say that you can see that these two are slightly overlapping at this particular moment in time. We can remove a column if we want, or data. We can shrink some of the information. If you wanted to do that, go to the ladder settings, and then you can actually go into the ladder and say, for example, gap between ladders, you can reduce that to 0, and that will snap them a little bit tighter. Or perhaps you could change the font size of one particular aspect of the ladder, and that will allow you to make them snap even tighter again. And once you've done that, that will actually allow you to modify, change elements of whatever you're looking at. And when you get something that you feel happy with, then you can go to the view area and do save screen out, and you can go to the settings area and save as well. So you can predefine and store those values so that if you want to look at two matches at the same time, you can just have them side by side on BetAngel. That is so simple to do. Now, of course, you may be interested in other sports that are taking place as well. So how do we bring those up? Well, if you really wanted to, say we wanted to look at the tennis at Eastbourne, I think Wozniacki is playing at the moment. So if I do Wozniacki, have I spelled that right? Niacki, and match odds, yeah, there we go. So we could spawn another ladder from there, and that would allow us to be able to see what's going on within that particular match. So there you go. You can see we've got that, but can you see it's suddenly getting a bit crowded? Now, obviously you have multiple monitors, then that's really not going to be an issue because you just whack it onto another monitor. So you see in the setup that I have in the background, I have 4 monitors. In fact, I can actually have in the configured 7 or more, depending upon what I'm trying to do. So if we look at Wozniacki and Barty here, you can see, how can we squeeze this onto one screen? Maybe you don't have 7 monitors, and most people don't. But you still want to see the information available within the Wozniacki match. So the thing to do there is to actually add it to Guardian. So if we go up to Guardian at the top here, the thing to understand here, and it's an important point to get across, is Guardian is a true multi-market trading tool. If you're spawning ladders or opening multiple copies of the product, you're just repeating stuff that's on the screen itself. And when you bring focus to a ladder, then it will start updating at much higher speed, and when you switch to the market and so on. So what I'm trying to tell you here is spawning multiple ladders, and this is the same with all different bits of software, isn't a true multi-market capability. It just switches focus on that market. Whereas if you load something into Guardian, Guardian runs completely independently from the BetAngel platform. So everything that we're doing manually is completely separate from what is available within Guardian. So if we wanted to in here, we could actually add in Japan and match odds. Match odds. And then we can drag and drop that in to Guardian. And now Guardian is working on that completely independently of what we're doing on that main screen. I'll just close this down to make things clearer. And you dictate the refresh from up here. So if you want Guardian to look at these markets very quickly in the background, you determine independently of your main trading application what you want it to do. So let's get it to refresh at 100 milliseconds. Bit over the top, but we will add in Senegal and match odds as well. But we'll also add in the tennis match as well. And I'm just trying to think what else we could do in here. We've got, the trouble is I can't spell his name. If I know, there we go. No, it's not going to let me do that. Zverev I was going to put, which is Z-V-E-R-E-V. There you go. And match odds. Hey, he gets it correct. It was either Zverev or Shapovalov. So there you can see we've got 2 tennis matches, and BetAngel Guardian is cycling around these furiously at this moment in time. So let's give it some more work to do, shall we? If I add in today's racing as well, then you can see it starts updating today's racing. If you're looking at markets within Guardian and it's updating really slowly, so if we scroll down here, because it's going to add in all of the markets, can you see it's going 1, 2, 3. You've probably got the refresh interval set low. If you want to, just whack that up, and then suddenly you'll see all of the markets populate really quickly. And but sometimes maybe you don't want to do that. But what's happening is Guardian is managing that independently of what's going on in the at the main BetAngel application. So treat Guardian totally independently from the way that you treat BetAngel. So they are effectively 2 entirely different products, and therefore you should look and manage them independently as well. So I'm just going to delete all of these remaining markets, because that's not the point of this video. What you can do now is, if you want to link any of these markets to an Excel spreadsheet, that can link in the background, and whatever you're doing in the foreground, in other words, at the moment we are looking at Senegal v Colombia. Whatever you're looking at in the foreground, which is this match, BetAngel Guardian will work on everything independently in the background. So even if we close Guardian, it will actually keep on looking at all of those markets even while we're working on the main screen. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's tailor-made for looking at multiple markets at the same time. And why do you want to do that? Well, there could be an opportunity in one of these matches or one of these markets that you may not be aware of at this particular moment in time. So what I do every day is load in all of the markets that I'm most interested in, and then set it off in motion in the background while I get on and do the current market that I'm active in. You can link it to a spreadsheet, you can apply automation rules to it. So if you want it to alert you to something that is about to happen, you can do that, or we can sort of assign some racing bot to it or something like that. Or you can see in tennis we could actually alert when a score reaches a certain value. So if we go into the Barty-Wozniacki match, we could actually go into the automation and say to it, okay, I'm not watching this market, but I'll tell you what, if it reaches this score line, then alert me and switch to that market. So you can do many things simultaneously, and it's just ace for that. You may not know that an opportunity is about to occur if you're not doing this, but BetAngel will alert you, and you can close down Guardian, and it will do that all for you in the background, even while you're busy trading something else. The first you'll know about it is when it sends you the alert. So it's absolutely perfect for this sort of thing. But also, if you're in one market but you want to look at another, you can always stick them into a watch list. So on the football here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say to it, add selected markets to watch list 1, and then display that watch list. So we can pop that over here, and I'll just shrink this because we don't need to see stuff that isn't there. But also we can keep an eye on the tennis as well. Let's do that. We will assign the tennis matches to watch list 2, and we will bring up watch list 2 here. And if you want to add the scores in as well, then obviously you can add the scores in, and that's going to be absolutely perfect for you to keep a tab on what's going on. And if you get that sudden alert on BetAngel, it will be able to tell you, let's just resize that a little bit, it will be able to tell you what's going on within that particular market. And then you can, let me just pin that to the top, it's important that you pin. And then we can look at the remaining markets in here and then add them into watch list 3. So I'll add those selected markets to watch list 3 and then display them over here. So if I close Guardian now, if you have anything running on the automation or on the spreadsheets or on Excel or any other element of BetAngel, then Guardian will be doing all of that for you in the background. You don't need to check on it. You don't need to understand what's going on within that particular market. Guardian can do that in the background for you. And meanwhile, if you want to watch multiple markets at the same time, get it to scan for opportunities and just keep an idea of what's coming up or what you're looking at elsewhere, then you can busily trade away on your main trading screen. Keep an eye on all of those things in the background. But you'll notice that I've closed Guardian, but Guardian will still be working for you on the spreadsheets that you've set up and created, the automation, or even on the servers. That will just run away in the background for you. And like I said before, it's a tool that you should use and get used to, because it will do all of that in the background for you while you're focusing on the main screen. And the best thing about it is it's a true multi-market trading tool. It will do all of that in the background for you at the appropriate rate and in a manner that will allow you to trade semi-automatically or fully automatically, or it will look for opportunities and alert you to them. And there are a few examples on the blog and in the forum if you want to download those. But anyhow, during this really busy period that we're having at the moment in the sports cycle, that's something that you should really get stuck into and familiarize yourself with, because it will uncover and find really good trading opportunities for you.